Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu will now attend a launch event for Child Protection Week online and not in person. She was due to speak at a community centre in Hout Bay this morning. So this week emphasises children's rights to safety, protection and well-being. Our reporter Erin is in Hout Bay and she joins us live this morning. Erin, great to see you again. Government with various interventions to support children. And of course the big question, with these government events is how much really has come out of these various programs?
Yes, and this RISIA program, which the Minister is going to be emphasizing not only in today's event, which she will now be participating in online, but also throughout the week, is all about resilience and partnering with non-profits. We heard a little bit earlier about the Safe House. It provides safe houses around the Western Cape for women and children who are fleeing domestic abuse. And that's just one of the interventions at play. RISIA is focused on safe parks as well, safe public places for children to play in, amongst a number of other interventions. Michelle, they include drop-in centres, child protection, work with organisations focused on that, and then home-based and community care. Now, the Minister won't be here in person, but we do have another representative from the department. Ma, thank you for your time. Just tell us some of the interventions you really think are working as a department to help vulnerable children.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me. Today, as we are officially launching the Child Protection Week, being the 28th of May, this is an annual campaign where we commemorate the Child Protection Week with the view that children need to be protected, and the care and development of children is what we take very seriously. So, being at the James House here in Hout Bay, we are now focusing on the RISIA program, which is the program that is designed to protect children who are vulnerable in the society. We use this program as one of our best practice model for, building resilience from children who are vulnerable in communities. And we provide services like your psychosocial support, material need, education support, because we want to prevent things like children dropping out of school. Because we know that in our communities, the high levels of unemployment are very high and children are experiencing poverty. Particularly in Hout Bay, we have seen the statistics where we've seen children are being used by adults to commit crime, which is the poaching sites at the harbors. So children get to drop out of school because they've now thinking that this is the way, to make an income for their households. We are also looking at assisting children like child-headed households through this RISIA program so that we build a safety net for them and also not to reduce the levels of vulnerability from these children. We're also providing school support. We have child and youth care workers who are assisting these children with their homework. And we've seen, the pass rates in the schools that are nearby, particularly for these children, have gone up from where it was before. So yes, thank you for joining us. We are hopeful that we are raising awareness, but also we are mobilizing communities to say the care and development of children should be, a partnership between ourselves as government, civil society organizations, religious leaders, and, traditional leaders, because those are very powerful, leadership that we have in communities. So let's all protect children, during COVID-19, which has passed, but it's still with us somehow. But we are saying during COVID-19 and beyond, because we are continuing. This is just a highlight for this particular week. But we also have the 365 days program to reduce the levels of violence, child abuse, neglect and exploitation. So thank you very much.
It is a very challenging task. Just quickly on that, you're working with some 26 NGOs in the Western Cape, a couple of hundred nationwide with the RISIA program. It's 816. How important is the partnership with organizations that are doing what they can on the ground?
Yes, we rely on NGOs, heavily as the government departments, because in some programs that we see that these are, there's a potential for upscaling. We also put funding resources so that they become our, extension, so that these services can be, broadened or rendered across different communities. So we really value the stakeholders that we have, including the key departments and civil society organizations, not forgetting the international donors, which are our implementing partners, who are also, somehow putting resources towards us, working together to make sure that we reduce the levels of violence, sexual abuse, neglect, and exploitation.
Thank you very much for your time, Michelle. It's interesting, yesterday Newzroom Afrika covered a conference on disaster readiness with a number of workers from all different sectors: healthcare, disaster rescue, search and rescue, paramedics, all different South Africans who are doing work to help communities. And I asked Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman of Gift of the Givers if he ever gets exhausted or frustrated about non-profits having to close the gap, which is open because government cannot simply reach everybody in need, including children. And his message was that if someone's in need, of course you help, of course you try. So those NGOs or non-profits who know communities and know their needs are incredibly important, and not only in terms of disasters we heard yesterday, but also clearly in terms of meeting the needs of girl and boy and their children in South Africa.
Absolutely. Erin Bates, thanks very much indeed. Live to us there in Hout Bay, and we are hoping to speak to the Social Development Minister, Lindiwe Zulu,